Boy. So let me tell you the structure of the course today. We will start with the learning objectives and set our expectations, and then move on to the ServiceNow definition of HR cases. For each area, we will have a state overview and process flows. After discussing these items, we will try some hands-on activities in the system by the way of practical exercises. So today we'll be discussing about topics involving how to raise and action HR cases using ServiceNow. While doing so, we will cover a life cycle about HR case management. We'll touch base on how to manage dashboards and layouts. And we'll do a very short overview of onboarding and offboarding processes, especially the way they affect the HR case management. So by the end of the course, the learner should be able to understand the basics of HR case management, perform specific steps in the system, and understand the usage of dashboards. Now, these are very theoretical, but frankly speaking, the takeaway for me would be if you gain more confidence in the system. It's a nice group that we have today. We all almost know each other. So let's keep asking questions. This particular session has been customized for the L&D team. So we will see scenarios around L&D. So keep probing, ask questions, and clear your doubts. Remember the first time when you used an Excel or a Word document, you are not a master in it. Practice makes perfect. Same case with ServiceNow as well. Once you start using it, once you start practicing enough, you'll be a master at it. So system navigation, fine, you will learn as time goes by, but ask questions and clarify your concepts. That's more important from this session today. So what is HR case management? Now, with ServiceNow, it's a typical ITSM tool whereby, and as an end user, you can come in here for either understanding about a knowledge article as a repository, which is already available in there, or else posting a query. And all this can be grouped broadly into either incident and problems, HR case management, and IT request services. So today we are going to talk about HR case management. Think of it as a ticketing system where the employee can submit the request and from there follow the workflow, giving them the full visibility of status, progress, and outcomes. Fulfillers will know where the request has been routed, when to expect an answer, and know their issue is being worked on. This also allows HR to action and maintain the assigned tasks and possibly even escalate to a different team, all while providing clear transparency to the employee. Let's see the different state overviews here. This is also the life cycle of a case. So it all starts with a draft usually and ends by closed complete. There is a subtle difference between draft and ready, which we will touch base on when we do the practical exercise. But theoretically, draft is when HR case has been created but not qualified, and ready is when HR case is fully qualified but work is not started. We'll see how it differs when we do the practical exercises. Awaiting approval is when an HR case is pending approval from one of the approvers. Work in progress is where the maximum work happens. This is when the HR case is fully qualified and the work has actually started. Close complete is usually the final state when an HR case has been closed as completed, and this has been accepted by the user. The other scenarios can be closed incomplete when an HR case has been closed as incomplete without actual resolution. There can be a cancel state whereby an HR case has been cancelled. Awaiting acceptance is towards the user's side when an HR case is completed and is subject to user's acceptance. And finally, we have a state called suspended when an HR case SLA stops progressing, like when the agents are expecting more information from the end user. In this case, they are the case. The process flow is a bit complicated because of the swim lanes, but it's not. We have requested service deck assignment group and external processes here, but it all starts when an end user selects a catalog item of HR as a requester. If this query is solved with the help of a knowledge article, straight away it gets closed. Otherwise, it can be triaged further for solution. In this case, it goes to the backend and an agent starts handling this query. And after that, it is passed on to the respective team and HR case is fulfilled. We'll see how exactly this works with the help of an exercise a little later. There are SLAs mentioned for uniting, and these are identified as follows for at least the first 3 months after go live. Do understand that SLAs about the user experience and not the time taken to complete your own tasks in the front end. So depending upon the type of category, high, medium, and low, along with the priority, there have been resolution SLAs defined. We can track them while we are doing the case itself. We will see that in the system, but at any point of time, if you want to refer to this table, it's always available. The HR catalog items as it appears in the front end or the employee services hub are just grouped together here. We can easily see them according to their categories from the front end directly. But just in case, if you want a tabular view, you can always refer to this table. Right. Other than just working on the cases itself, there are subtle options available in ServiceNow for changing the layouts and dashboards. So we'll start with the dashboards first. So dashboard is a graphical representation of the key performance indicators, metrics, and key data points to monitor specific process or even processes. With HR, there are two main kinds of dashboard. One is the manager dashboard, and the other is the HR case dashboard. Now, which dashboard is visible to you depends upon the user's role, which is assigned to you. The other layout options are how to set filters, how to change the layout itself. We will see this as well, and how to add favorites in your favorites menu. So this will make life easy for you, especially if you are working in backend a lot, how to customize the screen according to your preferences. A very short overview on onboarding and offboarding activities. Again, this may look like a complicated page for you, but EY has simply listed all the tasks which is generated out of an onboarding and offboarding process into 2 slides. But more importantly, each and every task which is highlighted here as an onboarding process has 2 parameters associated with it. One is when it has to be done, like recruitment, pre-joining, day of joining, and post-joining, and who is going to do it. That persona is also reflected by a color, which is coming from here. So as you can see, most of the activities as far as recruitment is concerned is being done by IT services and so on. The more important fact to understand is that with onboarding and offboarding processes, most of the items are automated and the tasks will come into the user's inbox as to-do activities. And this can be handled as normal HR case management activities. There is no particular process to follow for this. You just handle it as normal case management activities. Exactly same for offboarding activities as well. So that was a very, very short and fast overview on the theory. Any questions so far?
Nothing from me, Sanjay. That all looks pretty straightforward in theory so far.
Excellent, and it's pretty straightforward and practical as well. Yes, Emma?
No, sorry, all good.
Okay, cool. Right, so now we are going to start the practical exercise. So for this, we need to log into the system. We have 2 bases to log into. One which is called the backend or the native view or the UI16 view, as many people refer it to in different ways. I'm going to use backend for the entire training session. That is the backend view. And then there is a front end view, which is the employee services hub, which is where all the end users will have access and they can create queries and see about knowledge articles. So we are going to log into both the bases today. Does everybody know how to log in, or should I ask Leo to post a link for you? Let me know. We can post links for you. If you know how to log in, please log into both the portals, the backend and the front end. I'll give you a moment. If anybody is having any login problems, let me know. So this is the backend or the UI 16 or the native view. And this is the Employee Services Hub or the front end, which is where we are going to start our practical exercises today. So everybody able to log in? Any problem logging in? Okay, I'll take silence as a yes. And let's first discuss about the layout of the Employee Services Hub. The top left of the corner is a home button. If I press the home button, I come to the home page, and this is the home page of the Employee Services Hub. The home page has a big search, which is a common search in the middle of the screen. Depending on what text I search for, it will directly lead me to that particular knowledge article or that particular query item. If I put incident here, it will directly take me to queries or articles related to incident. If I press on the home button, I come back to the home page. Moving on, the next tab to the home page is the knowledge button or the knowledge tab. Knowledge tab has knowledge bases, and depending on which base I select, it will give me categories of articles to choose from that particular base. Moving on, the next tab or the button to knowledge is the catalog button. Just like knowledge, the catalog is also divided into HR services and IT business services. And depending on what I choose, I'll get categories based on that particular catalog. Depending on which category I choose, I get a list of items listed within that category, within that catalog. So catalog is the highest level, then the category, and then the items. Don't worry if your layout looks a bit different than this. You can change the layout by clicking on the card view or the grid view. More importantly, the items listed in both the views are exactly the same. That's the left side of your screen. The top is the uniting banner. And towards the right side of the banner is a to-do list. This to-do list is a place where, for example, manager can come and approve requests, or an end user can come and he can complete an acceptance. Then we have a request tab, a request button rather. A request button is a place where you can see the history of all the requests or queries which you have created and which are also ongoing. So this is the general layout of your front end or the Employee Services Hub. So now I'm going to do a demonstration. This is exercise number 1. The scenario goes like this. As an end user, I'm having a question. Yeah, sorry. Okay. As an end user.
So sorry, Sanjay. It's Liam's just raised a question in chat here about the difference between knowledge and catalog.
Right. So knowledge is like a repository of articles. So this is where if you have a query like I want to know about leave request, then you can go inside knowledge articles and find about the information about leave request. But Catalog is a place where you actually raise queries. So catalog is going to lead to a query, which is going to lead to a form. So from within the catalog, irrespective of whatever I choose, eventually it will lead me to a form. And based on what I do with this form, either I can submit this query, which will go to the backend. But in the case of knowledge, it will lead me to an existing article, which will give me more information. So if I go to benefits, for example, it has a list of articles. This is all test articles. Don't worry about that. But let me see if I can find some real article for you. So it's a test system, so I'm not able to find a real article, but it is more of a, it appears like an item which is going to give you information without proceeding further. And in case of catalog, you can actually post it. Make sense? Okay, cool. Right, so our scenario being, as an end user, I'm having a learning query. So I'm going to come to the front end, which is the Employee Services Hub, and I'm going to post this query. And let's see how this gets converted into HR case later in the backend. But to start with, exercise number 1, how to lodge a query in the front end using an HR catalog item. I have to go to the catalog first and choose the HR services. As we are only talking about learning at the moment, I'm going to choose the category learning. And I've got a item in here, and I'm going to click on that. It will always, a catalog item will always open a form for me to fill in. I'll put in the inquiry type. Let's say it's about a reporting inquiry and description. Just put in something and I submit the query. As soon as I submit the query, I get the stage of the request. But in case you lose this and go to your home page, you can still track your query by going to the requests and opening your HR case or query. There are 3 different tabs on the screen. First is the description. This is the text of what you have input in the query form. Attachments, if you have attached any attachments here. And history is the communication between the end user and the service desk or the agent who is handling this ticket. There is a place where I can watch item, add people to watch item. Like if I add Leo to this item, that means he will now be able to track the progress of this case as well. So that is a very small exercise. What we have done is we went to catalog, we choose one of the categories within learning, and then we posted a query. And the second is went to request and we started tracking that query. So let's go to the backend now. Let me first discuss about the layout, and then we'll do a simple practical exercise here as well. So as you can see, the layout is considerably different than the front end. So here you have in the left side something called a navigation pane. In this navigation pane, you have different items, which can be either an application or a module. On the top, there is a box sort of a symbol. We are currently on the box symbol by default. This is a list of all the applications as viewed by the user. The list of applications will differ according to the user role. So don't panic if you see different items as compared to me. Next to the box icon is a star icon, which is your favorites item. We can add applications or modules from your navigation pane to your favorite items. We will see this exercise a little later. The third icon is a clock icon, which is your history. This is the recent history, which allows you to go back to the recent case you are working on really fast. Just above the icons, you have something called a filter navigator. This is a common search icon. Sorry. Yep, sorry. Okay. So this is where you are going to search for the applications which you want to launch. In today's training session, we are always going to search for HR. And then HR related applications are going to open for you. We'll come back to that a little later. On the top of the screen, you have the Uniting banner. From any part in the screen, if I have to go back to the home page, I click on the Uniting logo. Towards the right is your name, followed by a global search. This may be deactivated for certain users. Then we have a common help button and then a personalization option, which will help you change the color combination. The best business practices, keep the theme as it is. So this is the general layout of your backend. Now we are going to do another very simple exercise in the backend. We are going to search for the ticket which you have created in the front end. And then we are going to search it in the backend. And then work for at least one full life cycle. In real time, this may be done by different set of users, but just for the sake of training, we are going to assume that we are the backend, we are the agents working on the ticket and work on one complete life cycle. So let's see how this happens. The first thing to do is in your filter navigator, give HR, and all the HR related applications will open for you. If you are continuously working on the backend, usually your day will start with clicking on assign to me. That means all the HR cases which are assigned to you. Currently, I don't have any cases because I'm not a part of UAT. So, but in your case, after go live, you will definitely have things to work on from this particular item. For today's training, I'm going to select all. It is literally a list of all the cases. I'm going to go to the front end, copy my case number, go back to the back end, and search for it by giving number as a search option. I search for it, and I can go to my case. I'll pause here for a moment and let you open the case in the backend yourself. Once you can do so, I'll show you one entire life cycle. So can we all try and open the case in the backend, please? Right. So this is how a case is going to look in the backend for the people who are seeing the screen for the first time. Let us run through the screen elements first. Towards the left of the screen, you can see certain mandatory fields like open for HR services category and so on. Depending on how the query is raised from the front end, these fields get auto-populated. In case you have to change the assignment group, you can do so and override the existing item which is pre-populated by the system by selecting the appropriate group. That is possible. We'll see that a little later. Then we have the priority and the state, which is one complete life cycle. We will see how the state changes a little later. Coming down, the description is actually directly flowing in from the query which you have put in the front end. There is something called knowledge results. This means based on what you are giving as a text here, there will be a text sensitive knowledge search which is being running in the background, and the system is suggesting for this particular query which is raised, these are the knowledge articles which are already available. So if it is just inquiry about an article which the user is wanting, you can simply attach this article straight away and send it back to the user. If I attach this, it's going to show in your knowledge, attach knowledge in the bottom. Moving down, you will have something called comments and work notes. Sorry, selecting this. Leo, I may need your help.
Yes, Sanjay.
So when I attach the knowledge, it's coming here as a code. Should I worry about it?
Okay, this should not be the case. When you attach the knowledge, is it?
Yeah.
Where did you attach the knowledge?
From here, from the available options.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, then can you just click on post?
Right.
Right. So that knowledge article will go. Yeah.
Right. So I have to post it. Right. So one more step. Sorry. After attaching, you will have to post the query. That's
So
step
basically,
number
when you
one.
clicked on attach, it just copied the URL of that and it is just given it to the customer. So this should be visible on the customer view now.
It should be visible on the customer view. Okay. Let's go. Should I refresh? Okay, right. I get it now. Because it's me in front end and back end. It's coming as me. Fine. So sorry. Let's try again. So once I attach the knowledge article from here, it will come as a link in the customer visible notes. You have to post it. And then if you check in the front end, the customer will be able to see this article in his communication. I am acting as a customer and as the backend, so my name appeared, so I got confused. So this article which I posted from the backend has directly come to the front end. So that's one, how to attach knowledge article. Second is the comments and work notes section, which has two parts. One is something called comments which are customer visible. So whatever I put here and say post, it will be customer visible. But if there are work notes, which I need to share only with the team members and not with the customer, then I'll post something here. And then I click on this radio button. And now it will have a yellow band, which means these are not customer visible notes. These are notes shared in between the teams who are handling this particular case. And then I can post it. If the conversation goes beyond control and if you want to filter it, you can do so by clicking on this funnel and just keeping the items which you want, and the other items get filtered. So how to attach knowledge, how to work on work notes and customer comments. Moving to the bottom of the screen, there are many other options which you can work on while you are working on the case, like you can add the contacts for the particular end user or the customer. Cases open for the user. Attach knowledge, which we already done as a link. Request items, if any. Similar cases. The knowledge articles already read by the user. Child or linked cases, if any, and the task SLAs. So considering this ticket is assigned to me to work on, let's see how to change the state from one state to another. So once I progress with the case, I can simply put it in work in progress, and either I can click on update. If I click on update, it will take me to the list view. If I want to avoid this and stay on the case, stay on the form, and I can change the state. And instead of update, I'll click on the gray band and say save. This way, the state gets updated, and at the same time, you stay on the form. Now, this has been closed complete from the backend. Now it is waiting users acceptance from the front end. So if I close this from my to-dos list in the front end and say yes, sorry, this is the one. Then it will throw a prompt which says the case has been accepted in the front end, and in the back end, the status will get auto updated in ServiceNow. So this is one end-to-end cycle. It's a very simple scenario. So let's try this on our own. What we are going to do is you are already in your tickets. I wanted to change the state to work in progress first by attaching knowledge article and posting in customer visible comments as well as work notes. See how it changes in the front end. And then eventually I wanted to change the state to close complete and go to your front end, go to your to-do list, accept the completion and see how the status updates in the backend. So please try this. I'll give you some 5 minutes to try this exercise. If you have any doubts, meanwhile, just let us know. We are here to help you.
Just a question, Sanjay or Viraj.
Yes, Luke.
When we attach something as a fulfiller, so we attach an article for the requester to see, will they get an email notifying them that something's changed? Like, how will they know that something's been attached for them to view?
So a notification should be triggered by email. Let's check with Leo. Leo, is there a notification configured for such item?
Yeah, so there will be a notification sent to the end users.
Okay, is that in the form of an email, or that shows up like on the to-do or something like that on the platform?
An email.
Okay, great, thank you. Because I'm just looking. Maybe it's because I'm both front and back end, but when I attached something to myself, I don't think I've received an email. I received one to say the case is open. I've received one to say it's been closed and request to resolve or to approve, but I didn't receive anything when an attachment was created.
Yes, I'm checking my mails as well, Luke. You are exactly right. So I get one when it was open and one when it was closed as well.
Yeah.
But I don't get one when the attachment was attached. So
yeah.
Leo, can you check this again, please? If there is a notification configured for if the attachment is attached. I mean,
can you go into your activities thing? So when you added the notes, was there email triggered? If you go to the HR tasks, if you just put the comments.
So, HR tasks.
So can you open the HR case, Sanjay, which you just opened?
The case which I worked on at the moment. Yeah, sure. I think that should be in my name though. Yeah, this one. Yeah.
Can you just change it to work in progress? Yeah. Can you just add additional comments for the end users?
Yep.
Okay, so that means there's no email sent for this yet. If the email was sent, then there will be like an email sent. Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. So, oh, okay.
But there was some work notes, right? Can you just come back, please? Can you scroll down a little bit? Work complete. Okay, for work complete.
Hi team. Luke's and Liam's emails are coming to me as well.
Yes, but I put you as another person to view, so that's probably why. Did you receive an email saying that an attachment had been added?
I've got T. Luke Barrett. I got one for comment, and I got one for closed. This has been closed.
And what was that comment?
Short description. How do I? Additional comments. How do I register for a face-to-face for virtual session in ULearn?
Oh, that's the knowledge article I attached. Okay, but I didn't get that email, but you did.
Okay.
Yeah, then that came in as a comment.
Personal assistant.
It came in as a comment with an attachment.
Okay, cool.
Yes, which is fine. It's just okay. So it was sent to you, not me. Okay.
So I can.
Yes, yeah. If you see here on the screen now, yeah.
Okay, so that's what we should have seen in the email. Okay.
But then whom is this going to? This is going to the end user, right? The person who created the query in the first place.
Right.
Okay. So should we test this more, or is it working correctly? I'm a bit confused. Does this mean it is working correctly?
Yeah, it's working fine. It's working fine. Yeah.
How come then, if it's working fine, Leo, how come I didn't get the email when I was the one that actually raised the catalog item, but Mo did get the email?
Then I would say, can you impersonate as someone else, and probably someone else can add you onto it, onto a watch list, because I think it's because of the same names. That is the reason the emails will not have got triggered.
Okay, because I added Mo onto my watch list.
Yep.
Oh, now I have this, right. Leo is Luke. So as soon as I first logged in from my ID, I did not receive this email. As soon as I logged in from Leo's ID, now I got this email.
Okay. Okay, so it's a thing where you raise and fulfill a case under the same ID. You're not going to get it.
Right.
Okay, that's fine. It's not going to happen, so that's okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Okay, that's good.
That's amazing. I keep on learning something new every day in something.
Just a question, and I'm sorry if I'm going off track here. That knowledge results button in the center bottom of screen there.
Yep.
And there was already something that appeared. Okay, so I had previously spoken to Cam from EY and sent through some documentation that, based on the learning inquiry selected in the drop down when someone raises a catalog item, certain knowledge results would display by default.
Yep.
Doesn't look like that's probably 100% finalized. Is that something I should take up with Cam, or?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I really have very limited knowledge.
Yeah,
so
that's fine.
Let's ask Leo. Leo, is it something which you can fix, or should we pass this on to Cam?
No, it'll be better if it goes to Cam, because they have been dealing with this from the beginning and they should be right at knowing it.
Okay, that's fine. Yep, that's fine. I'll follow that up. Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Amazing. So that was one very simple cycle. For in this case, the query originated from the front end. Then we started working on the back end. We closed it and saw how the communication is flowing from the back end to the front end and so on. So scenario number 2, what we're going to try here and do is create a query directly from the back end. Like in the case of somebody is calling and you are on the job of creating an HR case from the back end. So I'll go back to the home screen. I'll run the demo as usual, and then you can try it on your own. So again, the scenario being, we are trying to raise an HR case directly from the backend. Again, I'm going to put in HR as today all the queries are related to HR case management. And then I'm going to say create new case.
Just until like 3 o'clock. Thanks.
So the system,
By the way, once it has been resolved, we receive an email that it has been resolved, and it's got a link. The link is not working. To take the survey.
it will not work because this is a test system, but the link should be corrected by the time we go live. I get the
Okay.
link, but it's not working. You're right. It's not working. It's a broken link.
Oh, don't start with
Okay.
broken links. Sorry, in joke, guys.
That's okay. So how to raise a HR case directly from the backend? We give HR in the filter navigator. We go to create new case, and then we search for the employee for whom we are creating a case. Let's say we are creating it for Neeraj this time. Neeraj Sharma, that looks okay. I'm logged in as Leo, but I'm going to raise a case for somebody called Neeraj. In this case, I'll have to give an HR service. In our case, it's going to be learning. So learning inquiry. And then let me put some work notes related to the case. And then I'll say create case. That was pretty simple. So then it directly leads me to a page which we are all aware of, at the front page of, or the starting page of the case management activity. There is one difference though. You can see the system prompts that this case is in draft state. Press ready for work button to change the state to ready. So while in the starting of the theory, I told you there is a subtle difference between draft and ready. Draft state means this case is still not visible to the customer. As soon as I change the state from draft to ready and then update it, only then it will be visible to the customer. So don't forget this step. It's a very, very important step to change the case from draft to ready. Next, I'll put in the other mandatory fields, reporting inquiry, subcategory if it exists, and then description. Just update the case. So now the case is in ready state. That means it should be visible to the customer. The rest of the items are exactly the same. Knowledge results will get a result of the available articles. You can attach them. Comments and work notes, we already worked on it. The customer visible comments will be visible to the customer in the front end, and the work notes will only be visible to the people who are working on the ticket. The bottom of the screen is also exactly the same, with different tabs allowing you to do different options. Once you are okay, you can close the case. Once the user has accepted, the state will now be changed to close complete. So you can quickly try this cycle as well. In this case, instead of starting from the front end, we are directly creating a case from the backend and also solving it from the backend. So I'll give you a few minutes to try this. And as usual, let us know if you have any blockers. Always happy to help.
Hi, just a quick question, right? Let's say you created a case for someone and then you forget the case number. What's the best way to search for it?
I'm sorry, Liam, that was not audible.
Your microphone's a bit faint, Liam.
So Liam, what I did was down the left-hand side. So like I've opened the number, like the case. I'm going to use all the wrong words. I've opened the case. Down the left-hand side under all HR cases, I just go to open and then sort and filter by the date. It's probably not
Yep.
the most high-level way of doing it, but
yeah, there are several ways of doing it. If you are the person who is working on the case, you can simply go to assign to me and you will surely see the case there. Otherwise, you can go to all, as Emma said, and use certain options in here. You can put some filter options here and search by assignment groups or for whom it is open for, if you remember for whom you are working on, and so on. If I choose for open for, then it will straight away lead me to certain aspects of the screen whereby only the open for person can be seen here. Likewise, if you choose another option, sorry. Yeah, Leo.
Sorry. I was just saying that you can also add created by.
Created by, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come to that. So there are certain layout options here in this list, whereby I can add in columns or remove columns. And if I browse down to created by and add it as a column and bring it up, then now I can see created by option as well. So these are some ways where you can, by which you can search the case. Thank you. Right. So most of you have been able to do the exercises, which is fantastic. So let's move on. Now I'm going to create one more case. Create a case. I'm going to put in the category and update it. Right. So now this case has been created. The next exercise is we are going to see how to either transfer a case, number one, or number two, change assignment group. If I feel that the HR service for this case is right, this may not be a very good example for you. But if I feel the HR service is right, but the assignment group is incorrect, then I can straight away go to the assignment group and update the assignment group and save the case. But in case I want to change the HR service altogether, in that case, what I can do is, let me come back to the screen. Sorry, I was coming to say that, but if you have to change the HR service altogether, then the best thing to do is to go next to the case number and transfer the case to a new service altogether. To do this, just click on transfer case. Always transfer the case with existing number, though there is one more option available, we never use it. And then you select a new service. Let's say in this case, it's general or other inquiry. And I say OK. Then the HR service will get updated from learning to the service which you have chosen. And depending on what services have been chosen, this assignment group should auto-populate on its own. There is a link problem, right, Leo, between these groups at the moment. Something is being worked on in the background. That's why this is not getting updated. Leo?
Yes, Sanjay.
So once we update this HR service, the assignment group also gets updated on its own.
Yes, yes.
But this is not happening because there is something going on in the test system.
So basically for the same HR services, the same HR assignment group would be working. So you can actually change to any other HR services and check.
Oh, right. Okay. Let us do that. Right. Thank you, Leo. So I chose by incident, I chose the one which had the same assignment group. So as soon as I transfer the case to a different HR service, the assignment group changes as per the service chosen here. So that was only one more exercise which we had to do. And then depending on what the subject of the case, we can progress as per the exercise which we have done earlier. So the rest of the cycle remains the same. I just want you to create one case and try and transferring it to another HR service. So I'll just pause for the moment and let you try on your own. Thank you for this lovely session. It was interactive and it was really helpful for the trainers as well. So thank you for that. And if there are no other questions, then we can conclude today.